Hey everyone, it's Mike, sitting on a Group W bench again. Just waiting for it to come around on a guitar like I always do, and never seems to. And if you can name those references, I'll give you a shiny new quarter. I know that's how I started another video, but no one had answers. But anyway, let's get to the topic here. Deep thoughts of the day, reflections of the day. I do my daily meditation / prayer thing that I do, and something kind of came up, so I figured I'd kind of expand on it and share it and see if it resonates with anyone, and just see where it goes. But anyway, kind of thinking on the topic of prosperity, you know, there's not a person alive that has enough money. We all would like to be doing a little better, especially these days in this economy and these circumstances that we're in. And that's all well and good. You know, we got to do what we can to try to improve that, but at the same time, we can't lose sight of the prosperity that is already in our lives. Because it's there. You know, we all have talents and qualities and skills that are valuable and that are good, that serve us, and that others, you know, people in our life, that they appreciate and mean something to them. And we, you know, we have our struggles and all that, but we can't lose sight of that. Where else was I going to go with that? It brings to mind a good friend of mine, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago. The point of bringing him up is not to compromise his privacy, so I'm going to issue him a fictitious name. I'm going to call him Rex, because this is not about exposing, you know, personal details about him. It's more about illustrating a point. This is a guy who was a good friend of mine. He had a whole lot of things going for him, more than most, a lot more than most. He had skills and qualities and talent and a whole lot of good stuff going for him. But he was having an awful hardest time struggling with alcohol addiction. He was having an awful hard time with it. And we would talk about that. We would talk about, you know, his addiction and the struggles and challenges he was facing. And we also talked about all of the things that he had going for him. And one of the things he said, you know, is well, why isn't that enough? Why these things that I have going for me? And they were tangible. I mean, he was a talented musician, and he had a lot of other skills, and he'd accomplished a whole lot of things. And, you know, why wasn't that enough? You know, and we never did come up with an answer that was satisfactory to either of us. But it's a damn good point. You know, because how do we find perspective in all that? You know, because not all of us, thankfully, are struggling with addiction, but we all have our day-to-day struggles and challenges that we're, you know, working through and trying to make progress on. And it's easy to get caught up in that and lose sight of the positive, of the qualities we have, the skills we have, the talents we have, and the things that people appreciate about us. And oh, I almost forgot, our greatest riches of all, our greatest prosperity of all, is the relationships we have, the people in our lives who we love and who love us back. I mean, those are our true riches. Sure, it's nice to have money and material things, but our true riches are the relationships we have, because you can't take money and material things with you. You can't take relationships with you either, but those relationships, in my opinion, are your legacy. You know, that you're remembered. People aren't going to remember the material things you had, but they'll certainly remember the legacy and how you touched their lives, hopefully in a positive way, and positive memories and just positive experiences, all that stuff. So that's, in my mind, those are your true riches. So thinking about prosperity, you know, oh yeah, we'd all like to be more prosperous and be doing better financially, materially, but there is already prosperity in our lives. We already have a lot going for us, and we need to be able to recognize that and make that more of a priority, you know, our understanding of that and celebrating of that, honoring that, manifesting that, so that is bigger than the challenges and our struggles and all of that. And I think that's all I wanted to say with that. But in closing, I want to share with you a story that's always been one of my favorite stories. A guy who's, I read a biography of him, I don't know, almost 20 years ago now. John Muir, M-U-I-R. Very interesting guy, worth exploring what he was about. He lived, he was in his prime, I think, shortly after the Civil War, and a lot of interesting stories about him. But the one that I'm going to share is he was very much into nature and walking miles and miles across this great country, learning about the people and the nature, you know, and the habitats of all of the different areas of the country. And that's not what I'm here to talk about. So he did all of that, but at the same time he also had some business interests, and he managed to be a millionaire, which in the late 1800s, that's a pretty significant accomplishment. So he was pretty wealthy in his own right. To be a millionaire in those days, that really meant something. It means something today too, but not like it did then. So the point of the story, where I'm going with this, is that one day he was on a train sitting next to a railroad magnate who was, you know, if you know that about the industrial revolution and railroads at the time, that was the big industry of the day, and this was one of the biggest railroad tycoons he was sitting next to, who was probably 1,000 times wealthier than he was. And they were talking about various things, and somehow it came up. John Muir said, well, you know, I'm wealthier than you are. And the railroad tycoon was taken aback. How can that possibly be? I'm 1,000 times wealthier than you are. What the heck are you talking about? John Muir said, I have enough money. I have enough money. Now, I don't know about you. I don't have enough money. You probably don't either. But there is a lesson in there about prosperity and what that means to us, because prosperity means different things to different people. It doesn't always have to be about money and material things. So maybe it's time for us all to do a little inventory of the riches that we do have. You know, relationships and just things we have going for us, talents, skills, qualities, experiences that made us who we are, hopefully have made us a better person. And maybe in all of that reflection we can find that, hey, maybe we do have enough prosperity. You know, we always need to work on bettering ourselves, and that's important, but we need to find balance with that. We need to also stop and smell the roses and experience what's good here and now, because these moments will pass, and if we don't savor them and enjoy them and be in that moment, they will pass us by. So we got to find balance between bettering ourselves and improving our situation and enjoying the moment. That's it. That's all I got today. Hope you're enjoying your moment. I'm enjoying this one. Over and out. Have a great day.